Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at Greninja in the Jungle Cup. And there's kind of an unwritten rule on this channel that if Greninja is available for a cup, we're gonna take a look at it. Here you're gonna see for the first battle, I have a little bit of a different team as you're going to run in the back here our Mandibuzz instead of the Vigoroth. I swapped around the team quite a little bit. There might be even a different video in there as well where I had Greninja in the lead, but a kind of similar backline towards we have here as well. But basically what I stuck with is the team that you see on the right side, so don't be confused about this. Greninja, like you might expect this Pokemon being pretty weak in this meta. And you might be wrong, you might be right, who knows, it really depends, because if you take a look at the meta, there are quite a lot of Pokemon that you don't really want to face with this thing. For example, a Lantern, for example, a Vigoroth, for example, I don't know, Whimsicott, which is kind of common nowadays as well. Those Pokemon you don't really want to face, but there are also quite a lot of Pokemon that you really want to face. And so there is kind of a downside and also kind of something that you really want to face with this Pokemon. For example, those teams with Spammy double Mudboy. Spammy double Mudboy kind of loses to Greninja alone already, which is kind of funny. So Greninja has a lot of potential, but you kind of need to keep shields. It's a pretty squishy Pokemon, but here, for example, for the first battle, we're hopefully going to be alright. We can still go for a Stone Edge against the opponents at Vigoroth. But let's see how our Mandibuzz can do something here as well. Let's see what they're going to have in the back. It's going to be a Dis-Hit Giant. We can easily win this one. But, yeah, again, here we're gonna see already, we're going to have now Vigoroth as a Say-Sub. Yes, I know Vigoroth is kinda on every team right now, but like, what can I really do? It's just better than everything else to use for this one. Especially for this team here, it's definitely way better to use. We're going to have this as a Say-Sub. We're going to have in the back our Greninja, of course, Vigoroth, going to potential fighters or counter users, but also going to be able to bait out something like, I don't know, something like Talonflame maybe, but Talonflame would be great for Greninja as well. I would say something like a Fairy type as well. We're going to have a Poison type in the Clodsai here in the lead, which is going to be great for Fairy type Pokemon, and so I guess it's going to be kind of ideal. And also I swapped from Mandibuzz to Vigoroth because Vigoroth is better against Vigoroth, which is kind of silly, but Mandibuzz struggled quite a bit with the Vigoroth in the 2-shield scenario, as Rockset is super effective, counted as neutral damage, and you just don't hit enough, like hard enough for this kind of scenario. Plus, also, this is another reason why I swapped into my Vigoroth laydown, a Bomber A Bomber Snow would go through the entire team from the first battle, and so Vigoroth going to help with that. You can, if you encounter a Bomber Snow in the lead, you can kind of stay in. You're still Stone Edge, at least on your Clodsai, which is kind of decent. But here we're going to see them going for an Energy Ball. They are not going to get the defense drop either. We can go for the full farm down. And they're going to have in the back here, of course, the Talonflame, which is going to get directly destroyed here by one Hydro Cannon. We can move on to the next opponent. Next battle here, we're going to actually see again that the Mandibuzz is on the team. Again, like basically when I put battles into my editing software, it's kind of getting randomized, so it can still be some battles with Mandibuzz later as well. But I mainly used the Vigoroth for this team, that's why it's on the right side. But yeah, here we're going to see maybe even a reason why we don't have Mandibuzz anymore. We're going to find out shortly. Here I make a little bit of a mistake because this move actually doesn't knock them out, which is kind of interesting, and so they're going to be able to reach another charge move. If I knew this, I would have overfarmed a little bit more than I can do right now, which is a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. The opponent actually swaps out into Vigoroth anyway, and this might be actually why I kind of wanted to swap out later on as well. Here I sure went already for an Earthquake in the lead as slower, so I have to body slam from the health range I was at, but now I'm just going to give the opponent more energy with the staying in earlier on, and so they can go for the Rock Slide kind of fast. And as you can see here, we just don't really do enough damage. We just don't really do enough damage with our Mandibuzz, and this was one of the main reasons why I kind of swapped away from this Pokemon. We can see the opponent getting to another charge move. This should be only a body slam. It is just a body slam, but still, look at our health range. We can still hopefully go for 2 aerial aces, but it's not really looking too great for us either. Aerial ace coming through, we can go for another one, and like this, they're most likely going to let this move go through as well. They will, and so we can align ourselves. Now we're going to have an Bomber Snow, and at this point I kind of realized, yeah, I guess Mandibuzz is not going to work against the Pokemon that I'm going to encounter here, and this is also an issue a little bit for Greninja right now. It's difficult to align yourself, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this now in the next battle as well, as we're going to get destroyed by an Energy Ball. Was only my call to, like, yeah, call that they're going to go for the Weather Ball, but it is what it is. So, yeah, basically the biggest issue for Greninja is just that you don't really know where you're going to encounter certain Pokemon, because if you use it on the lead, like there's a high likelihood of you're going to encounter something like a Spammy, which is totally fine, something like a Whiscash, which is totally fine, but there's also like a high likelihood that you're going to encounter something like a Vigoroth in the lead, which would be kind of annoying, or like an Altaria in the lead, which would be really annoying as well. So you're going to always kind of have certain Pokemon that you just really don't want to face in this meta, and so it's difficult to align yourself. I feel like in the back it kind of functioned a little bit better for me than in the lead, especially with this team. There might be other teams where Greninja are going to work even a little bit better there as well. Here we're going to be in a great spot actually, because the opponent made a huge mistake of going into the Electrode again, which allows us to align ourselves with our Clodsire. They're still forced to go for one Energy Ball and a Wild Charge in order to knock me out. I can go for a Charge move here as well. Earthquake is going to be great, but what I kind of don't want to allow the opponent to do is farm me down with that Talonflame, because then we're still going to have a little bit of an issue. Here we're going to see the Energy Ball coming through, and that's why I don't throw my energy until very, very late, as I don't want to give the opponent any farm, and like this I don't give them any farm at all, which is going to be even better, as they decide to now go ahead and not forfeit actually. They're still going to play it out. We can still go for a Hydro Cannon, and this is going to be able to get the shield. I can swap out, catch the move, so get wrecked there. Basically now this game is guaranteed over, like there's nothing the opponent can do anymore. Hydro Cannon is going to knock them out. There is no energy on the Electrode, and so we're going to be easily able to win this game. Good game then to the opponent. We can move on to the next one. This battle was honestly one of my favorite, I have to say, and I'm happy that it's still in here, because, like, of course, like, I don't really look through all of the stuff just to get rid of losses or whatever, but this team here is kind of funny from the opponent. I kind of want to take a look at the Shadow Ho eventually as well for this cup, because I feel like it's a cool Pokemon to run. It's a worse Pokemon compared to Charizard or the Talonflame, but I don't think I have to really tell you that. I think you're going to know that already anyway. But Shadow Ho-Oh looks like a lot of fun in this meta. Brave Bird is coming through, and we're going to see here Venusaur coming in. And this is kind of annoying for me, because taking a look at my backline, like, the Vigoroth is kind of neutral, but that's basically it. And as you can see here, I'm going to align my Vigoroth as well. We're both shieldless. I know that I can still survive one charge move from the opponent, but I kind of was forced to throw basically immediately as well. As we can reach that Body Slam, this is going to be able to connect against the opponent, knock them out, and sadly, very sadly here, I didn't get a little bit more energy. It would have been better for me, because as we're gonna see now, they can go back into the Ho-Oh, and they can go for the full farm down. And at this point, we are going to be in a matchup which I don't really enjoy. But also, they're going to have an Ivysaur in the back. By the way, their team doesn't make any sense at all. I would not recommend you to try this one out, even with Ho-Oh, because like one Dragon type and you're done. But it is what it is. We're sadly still going to lose here, because the backline completely hardwalled me. Next opponent, we're going to have a Vigoroth against us in the lead, which is kind of where we want to have this Pokemon, so I'm kind of happy about it. As a Clodsire, you should most likely go for 2 Stone Edges, because, yeah, you need 2 charge moves anyway. This matchup, you should be able to win, basically in most shield scenarios, but I don't know, like, it looks so great on paper, but like when I try to actually play this matchup, it doesn't even look like that great, so I'm not too sure if it's a me issue or if it's like PvPoke issue or whatever, but like every time I play this one, it doesn't go as planned as PvPoke says, like where it's like super easy for it to win. But here they're gonna swap out into the Talonflame, allowing me to go for a Stone Edge, but also allowing me to align myself. That's why I stayed in here, because I know I only have a little bit of health left, and I know also that every time the opponent goes here for a charge move with their Talonflame, I can get some more energy. We can go for 3 fast moves here before we have to throw the Hydro Cannon, and if they're going to shield this move up, I can go for 3 more again. And we just build up more and more energy on this Pokemon, especially as we get a free one in here as well. And this is going to be great, as the opponent decides to forfeit now anyway, but I wonder what they had in the back. Next opponent, we're going to have a Piloswine. Piloswine coming in here is going to be a Pokemon where I should have went to Greninja, I would say, because like both Pokemon are fine, but Greninja is more difficult to find the correct matchup for. But also, Greninja is going to be able to resist the fast move and the charge move damage, and most likely one-shot them with just a Hydro Cannon. So it would have been better to go for that. But here we're going to see the Clodsire coming in anyway, which is going to be great for us, as we can go ahead and go for the Body Slam spam. Gonna get them a little bit lower. And so this is going to definitely work out in our favor, especially as we can align our Greninja very, very soon. As the opponent swaps out into their Vigoroth, I can go into my own not into my own Vigoroth, of course, into my own Clodsire here. And I try to go for the Earthquake after seeing the last time that Stone Edge was not enough. I should have not done this. Like, this is kind of silly. Like, that's definitely not really worth it. But it can be actually worth it, and as they're going to let this move go through, there still might be actually a chance where this was a smart one, because if I get them with Mud Shot and whatever into a range where I can Water Shuriken them down, this might have been a smart idea, but if I don't do this, it might have been not a smart idea. But as you can see, they're already in the deep red health, so maybe this kind of works out for me. As you're gonna see, I'm going to let this move go through, hoping that my Greninja can sweep this opponent here, but it is going to be a little bit tricky as I can reach that move in time. Just have to hope that they don't get to another body slam in time, but they're going to swap out anyway into their own, Clodsire here. They can go for a Stone Edge. They just need a Stone Edge anyway to knock me out. I have to go for the bait here. The bait is my only chance, but can we still win this game? It is going to be very close. We cannot. They actually get to another charge move here, and this is even the Earthquake, which is kind of wild, so good game there to the opponent. We can move on to the next one. Very good lead for us. Clodsire, I don't know. Clodsire kind of disappointed me in this meta, I have to say. Like, Clodsire, like, looked so good on paper. I think it's, like, rank 5 or something on PvPoke. But at the end of the day, it was, like, not the best Pokemon ever for me. Like, it was not as great at like countering Vigoroth than I thought, for example. Here, the opponent was able to catch a Stone Edge on a flying type Pokemon. Very proud of the opponent at this point. But what we can see as well is that we're going to be able to survive 2 aerial aces with our Greninja, but I don't really want to do this either. I cannot rather go ahead and go for the clear knockout here. Maybe it would have been better to try to go for the full farm down though. Not too sure, but now the opponent goes for a charge move anyway with their own Vigoroth, which is going to be okay for me. I can go back into my Clodsire as they can go into their own Talonflame. I can overfarm by quite a lot, and I just gonna try to get rid of basically all their shields. As I'm going to let this move go through, it's most likely going to be actually going to use a shield here. That's kind of interesting, but it's going to be a flame charge no matter what. And afterwards, I should be able to just swap out, and hopefully it's going to be a better time for me as well. They can go straight for the charge move, and I will be able to outspeed them to the next one. It's going to be another flame charge, so they need like, I think, like 3 more total, or like 2 more total, I think, because I got 1 extra one in there anyway. So this Rock Slide is coming through, going to take the knockout. We definitely still survive another charge move from the opponent at this point as well, which is going to be very important, because like this, we can try to get them into range where 1 Stone Edge going to knock them out, I thought, but no, we have to go for an Earthquake now. But luckily, they basically got rid of all their energy, so they can still reach 1 Body Slam in time, but not 2 of them. And so 1 Earthquake should be enough to knock them out at this range. Earthquake is coming through, Earthquake going to connect, and Clodsire is taking home this game, and we can move on to the next opponent. Pelipper in the lead. Pelipper is, I guess, the worst possible lead. I don't know, like, I don't know if there's a worse lead than Pelipper. I feel like it's very tricky to play Pelipper on this meta, I have to say, but I guess this player might have had some success because we're still pretty high, like, on leaderboard level, I think, as well, when we played those battles, so definitely they had some success with this. We're going to be able to go for a Body Slam, try to get them a little bit lower. Now they're definitely in range for our Night Slash. Issue is that my Greninja is going to get lower and lower here, and if they're going to use a shield, they're very likely being weak against Greninja in the back. That's at least what I would expect, and they use a shield here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use a shield as well. It might be a Hurricane, it's going to be a Weather Ball. Of course, I can still reach another one in time. And maybe they just want to get me low here. I'm not too sure about it. Weather Ball is coming through. I can overfarm by 2 at least here, which is going to allow me to get some more energy. And let's see what they're going to have actually in the back here. We're going to get the Night Slash in, and they're going to have the Obama Snow here. I can swap out, and I don't know if this is going to really work out for me. I can still take a move from the opponent. Stone Edge does around like 60% of the opponent's health, putting them into range for 1 Night Slash. Maybe I should have went for the Night Slash first, which would have been great for this scenario, because then the Obama Snow would have been down already. And so that might be something I could improve on. I'm not too sure on how much it's going to matter here. We're going to see that the opponent can outspeed me. Not actually, they can catch a move on the Steelix. So I guess they played it pretty well as the opponent there. If I went for the Night Slash and then swapped out, I think I would have been easily able to win this battle here, but I didn't, and so fair play to the opponent. They played this well. They definitely played this very well here to win this still. We actually had an opportunity to win this with our Greninja, but we didn't take it, so good game there. Well played there, definitely a misplay by me, but we can move on to the final battle of today. We're going to have Clodsire against a Clodsire. What is better here? Like, honestly, like, we have the rank 1 variant of the Clodsire, so as we win the Team P-tie, the opponent must have the rank 1 variant of it as well, because there is no lower attack than what we have. So we're going to be able to use a shield here on the Earthquake. They're most likely going to be able to outspeed me to the next one, but they swap out into the Obama Snow while we swap out into a Vigoroth, and so we can win this game as the opponent decides to forfeit. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to leave a like. Would really appreciate this, and if you and want to see more content, you're going to see some on the screen right now, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.